I'm your host, Rosabelle VR from Late Rose Talk Show, and it's finally time, the last tour, Late Rose Talk Show's Tour 4 of Stages. Oh my goodness, we have finally made it. Anyways, you might be noticing a new different scenery. This is part of a little section of my dorm room. I hope you guys like it. We just got a little photo booth and a nice couch to sit on. But besides the point, before we get into the tour, just want to let you guys know this will be a longer video, just to warn you ahead of time. I will try and cut some bits here and there to try and make it shorter the best I can. But for now, I hope you enjoy the video and let's get on with the tour. Alright, and here we are, Late Rose Talk Show's Tour 4 final episode. Now, I want to first say that I may have to break this in two parts because it is a very huge map. Now, we aren't going to go this way for the tour because that's where the stage is. We're going to do that probably in the second part. But what we're going to do is we're going to go this way because there's an outside area. Now, normally there isn't really an outside area for a Late Rose Talk Show because it was more indoors. But now, as you can see, there is now, so people can explore. Now, we're going to start on this side of the tour. If you notice, there's a little thing back here. This was made by David and Exinktix. This is their own little thing going on. Exinktix likes to do lore, and David Wilson likes to make, cars and bunkers. So, they both made together a nice little bunker that you guys should go inside. And there's a lot of lore within it. And if you know what this thing is, then good for you. I don't remember exactly what it's named, but if you do, good for you. If not, then you're probably going to have to go and ask Exinktix pretty much yourself. But however, you can see there's a lot of writing on the walls of just like little things here, there. Is Late Rose Talk Show a lie? Or glitch? Or Blind Eye has secrets? I also have my own little writing that I wrote for myself because I am creating my own little lore, but it hasn't been fully, announced very much or created. But for now, the first little thing is the thorns are growing. I hope you guys can kind of figure out what that means in a way. But also you can see there's Blind Eye Studios box, as well a couple computers, and a few more boxes, and of course Ride of Freedom. But yeah, it's a nice little bunker. You can just kind of hang out and chill and talk with your friends. Moving on, let's go over here to this building right next to it. Now, some of you already know about our shops from Late Rose Talk Show, from, Mr. Boney and all the little items that were on the display. Well, this is the new shop, Thorn Alley. Kind of similar to like 7-Eleven, except without the 7-Eleven kind of like concept, because we don't want to copyright pretty much. So we made our own little brand. And this is Miss Petal, our new mascot pretty much. She's at her cash register just checking out people who ever buy things. And this little cat, as you can see, made by Grimmy, was actually a reference to a YouTuber called Mr. Cats, or Mr. Fats 2 Cats. If you haven't checked him out, please check out his YouTube channel. He's a very funny guy, very, very nice person. But also, if there's some things he said that it may be controversial, that's just him joking. He doesn't really mean anything. He's just a kind fella, pretty much. And I love him so much, too. He's pretty great and pretty funny. Now, as you can see, since it's like a 7-Eleven thing, we have our own little Slurpee stands. Except each flavor is not labeled because we didn't want to use too much text going on in the room because text can cause a lot of lag. So I can remember at least each flavor. I believe this is like cocoa, maybe? Probably raspberry, and of course, cactus juice. Yes, cactus juice. And if you're wondering, go ask Grimmy. He's the one always kind of drinking it up. Now, we also have a bunch of items around these, like, aisles in a way. Like, we got a little snack aisle. We also were trying to make a candy aisle and a nice book area. We were going to make this on a magazine area, but then again, so many thin pieces would probably like the room, so I just kind of throw a bunch of books and there we go. And actually, each of these items have names. For instance, Milk Bone. This is actually a protein powder for Mr. Boney. So then you can keep those bones up pretty much. And then we also got honey sliced bread. Now, I made this pretty much because I just feel like, bread and honey and it just being nice and sliced is perfect. And then we also have a little reference, Blue Buzz from Akari, pretty much, because she's a bee. And we also have something made by David Wilson. We always got to have a little safety and always patch ourselves up, so we got some band-aids. And luckily, we have Sunny Lemon. Kind of like Sunny D, except Sunny Lemon, because, we don't want to copy or advertise. We just wanted to kind of create something silly, a mixture, but this is very sour, by the way. I wouldn't drink it. Now, if you're on a trip, need 36 water pack? I think that's enough. Definitely enough water for you. And also, we got some cereal, pretty much, that we made. We got Cocoa Drops, kind of like a Cocoa Puffs, except they are not really as, chocolatey. They're not real, pretty much. Then we got Grimmy's design that I made for him, Jim Prickly Munch. So it's like cactus, but instead more prickly and munchy. And there's a little toy inside you can get. And don't worry about the little text here. I won't tell Grimmy that I see him. I do see him, but I'll pretend he's not there. just have the fun of it. And then we also have Glitch Pebbles from Glitch, pretty much. We thought, it'd be nice to make a cereal brand for him, so we give him a little bit love and attention. Now, down this aisle, there's not really much in the candy aisle because we never got to it since Wreck 'Em is shutting down. But we have a couple of cereal boxes, at least, from over here and right here. The Black Hole Bits. This was made by, I keep pronouncing his name wrong. I'm going to still call him Viper or Zypher. Just because, it's my mind and also I'm dyslexic. But, however, I kind of like this because there's actually ingredients, but it's not on this particular box. But we'll get to that in a bit, pretty much. And you'll see what the ingredients are about. Because, trust me, that sounds scrumptious. Now we also got café. Not coffee, café. And because, we got a little, we gotta get some coffee in there. Because I'm a coffee fan. I can't help it. And this was actually made by Photo. And honestly, I like it. It's cute. It's its own little unique style. And I especially like, how big the package is. So you got plenty of coffee in there. So you don't have to run out pretty soon. Now, we all have these fridges, but they don't have anything in them. They're just for design. But when you're a kid, once in a while, when you see it's all kind of frosted over, you kind of wanted to put your hands on it or do a smiley face. So I put a little imprint right there just to kind of let people know, like, hey, we did it once in a while as a kid. And now the books. There's really nothing written on them because, they're just blank books. They're really actually just made for looks and design and not really like anything interesting. Ooh, that's glitching right there. That's all right. It'll be fine. Besides, Wreck 'Em shutting down. There's nothing much to matter. But yeah, and I mentioned Mr. Boney since he used to be our mascot. Because he used to be our salesperson. Well, he's actually over here by the Ride and Freedom truck. And look at him! He's got a new brand design. You can see that when you first saw him, he was mostly bone with his pants. Because during the time, it's not easy to make, tubing at one point. But some people I've seen really make tubing designs really great. For example, I saw one done of Akari, which was really cool. However, don't worry about the little thing, you can visit the old talk show, but this is a nice design of him. And if you're wondering when he's looking at his phone, there's really nothing. It's just a blank screen. But if he was, he probably is reading up the latest Rec Room news just to find out, if Rec Room is really shutting down or if it's just a make-believe kind of thing. But don't worry, Mr. Boney, you'll always be remembered and you'll always be missed. And maybe we should make him a model for VRChat. That'd be kind of cool. I think people will like him. I might have to see if I can look into that. But for now, I think this is great. At least he's still around so you guys can see that he's still here. He's just retired and just taking care of the Ride of Freedom trucks of David Wilson's, company. Now, when I mentioned that there is a coffee bag over there, there's actually a coffee shop. The Cozy Corner, made by Photo, pretty much. Except I had to help a little bit since she had some trouble getting finished and having the time to. And we actually have another flower, but this is a Miss Lily. And she's married, of course. And she actually has some dialogue. Hello, I'm Miss Lily, and I'm here to give your sweet treats and drinks. And if you say yes, I would love a drink and treat. Great! Just choose your drink and snack and have a lovely day. That's pretty much it, but there is, I think, a dialogue if you say no, but thank you. That's fine. Just have a wonderful, lovely day now. I. Wait, I think I just read that and my dyslexia kicked in. Oh well. But that's fine. But, she liked the design of Miss Petal and she wanted a similar design. So I just said, no, it's fine. You can copy her and clone her and bring her over here and recolor the way you want, pretty much, and give it a different name. And there you go. And here's all this nice sweetened treats. We got some orange drinks. Oh, that's an interesting way of grabbing it. And some coffee, pretty much. But we also have lots of sweet treats. We got some croissants, some pie, a couple of cakes and stuff, and donuts. And one funny thing I really like is this donut right here because it's actually upside down. So it looks like a regular donut, like a glazed donut, and has a little bite in it, which is really cool. And also you can see behind there's actually some coffee machines here and there. So you can't really interact with those, but they're pretty great. Now, there is a whiteboard over here you can interact with, but you really can't, actually. It's actually a role setting, because I made sure that Photo had a role setting, just for her so she can draw, because she always likes drawing during our shows once in a while. Now, we also have a lot of seating here. I actually made these. A lot of people thought this was, something else, but some people actually see it as coffee beans. It's coffee beans, not beans in general. It's coffee beans. And it's supposed to represent that. Now, it may look a little out of shape right now because of the low rendering, but it's pretty kind of oval circled. So imagine that, pretty much. I'm not taking my maker pen and fixing it because it's every time I load in. Now, moving on out of the cozy corner stuff. Now, we can't go into this building because this is our first sponsor building that we designed for Akari, pretty much. She was going to have her own talk show. So we were thinking about maybe having a little teleporter that you can click on the door so you can go visit her map once that was opened. But sadly, since Reckham's not sticking around, it's a good thing that we did this, because at least she's remembered by all of us, and she is a lovely person. If you want to go check out her content, you can check out her Instagram, pretty much, and just even go to her Discord and say hello to her and tell us that you watched this video. She might even like it. She might even watch it herself. Now, you're starting to see some familiar creatures or familiar figures. Yes, we have literally I am starving things in this place. And you might even hear a sound in the background a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment. But yes, if you haven't heard, I have a talk show member who's my security person, or not security. Sorry. Not security. A tech person. Her name is Rosie Animator, and she is a big fan of I'm Starving. So she asked me if it's okay to put I'm Starving stuff in our map, in our map. I said that is alright, but only if she asked the owner first, because you don't want to take someone's hard work and then claim it your own. And she would never do that, though. She knows that she would never claim things herself and said she made it. No, but she did ask the owner, and they said it's alright. So I find it alright if I record their stuff, because trust me, their stuff is amazing. I'm impressed by their building work. I cannot. I wouldn't be able to do this. I do not have the brain power. Now, you already know what this probably creature is, and if I hover my mouse, there's a jump scare. It means I can actually get killed by this thing. So, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to scare anybody, and especially I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. But for now, if I click this door, makes an unlocking sound and actually opens. And there's actually a few more creatures in here that you can actually interact with. Like, for instance, the book from I'm Starving. If you know what the book is, you have to answer questions in order to get the right question. But if you see a book with an eye, do not touch it. You will be killed, pretty much. Now, there is another one over here, but right now I'm not going to go into this general area because I will get picked up and killed. But, yeah. So that's a ceiling one, if you know what the name is. I cannot remember all the names because I'm a little bit dyslexic and my brain can be a little bit hard to keep things up. But however, I'm amazed the fact that, that these animations haven't crashed the game yet, but at least it's only triggered when you touch it. So, and there's also the office, a little area, like a little seating area. You can't sit on these though. They're just made for decoration, just made for design and style, just to kind of give a sense of surrounding and just kind of a nice feeling. Now, there's something over to the side here. There's actually two more monsters back here, but one of them is actually underground, which we cannot touch because, I'm not really good with animations to bring it up, but as you can see, hello! It's the janitor, pretty much. And he's been mopping up that blood for I don't know how many months. But you know what? It's fine. Oh, sorry, a little bit of lag. It's fine. But it's really cool to see like a model and actually seeing it moving without, being able to interact with it, even though you can interact with it if I hover my hand over it. He does have a jump scare. But I'm not going to worry about that right now because, it's great. It's good to look at him. And also my favorite part from the jump scare is when he tossed the cigarette, pretty much. That's that little feature I really like. And let's go over this way. Continue on, pretty much. Now, there's a little shop right here. It's not really much, but it's called Car Doctor. It's where you can take your car and get it fixed. And actually, I made this for my fiance, pretty much, or my boyfriend, because he really likes cars and he really wants to work with them. And there's actually a couple of missing posters made by David Wilson because he helped out make the garage lifting panel and a few things in here just to kind of feel like it's an actual garage place that you can get your car fixed. Now, there's actually some faces on here from these missing posters you can recognize. Some of them you might not know, but Apollo was one of the members from Koala's talk show who inspired me to do a talk show. It has his own poster. He hasn't been online for a while, but I had spoken to him like a couple months ago, which was really good to see him. However, there was one person I did get a sudden message from, Koala himself, all of a sudden, which was really good to see him. But hopefully he's doing well out there. And if you end up finding this video, hey Koala, hey Apollo, it's good to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing great. Now, of course, there's David Wilson, but it's not David Wilson. It's Hank Leslie McCrog, or MacGraw. See, there's my dyslexia. I cannot pronounce names very easily, but he's a very interesting fella that you probably want to keep your eye out and probably look out for him and stuff. And don't worry, this number right here is not an actual number, just so you know. And there's also me from my old avatar, pretty much, one of them. And another name I used to go by online, but I no longer go by that name because I have very, very particular reasons behind it. But I still think it's kind of funny. He thought Sire to Rosabelle was my full name like this. No, it's just Rosabelle. But hey, it's fine. I love little mistakes. Like, I make my own little mistakes with tiny little things because, hey, we make mistakes from time to time. That's fine. Now then, there's a nice little sitting area inside this place. And there's also a little office for my love to sit at. And if you go over here, there's actually a photo of us one time when we were at RecCon, because he joined with me, and it was one of the best moments of my life just to kind of make him feel, being a part of something. Even though he doesn't play this game often, he still feels, a part of the whole situation, even if it was not something he was used to. But I appreciate that he was joining with us and the fact that he really loved that we made this building for him. Now, all these back buildings back here, as you can see, there's the Right of Freedom as a little, you know, advertisement of his room. And of course, Studio Blind Eye for sponsoring their room. But all these back buildings you cannot enter into because they're just decorations. They're not really actually meant to be like messed with. But I designed all of these. And I'm proud of each one that I made because it's not easy to design like buildings or like certain particular city buildings, because if you put a lot of shapes, after a while the rendering can just go pretty much, and it's not great. But I try my best to make it as simple as possible and as less shapes as possible. Now, you notice up there, as I'm looking at it, there's a little thing up here. One of my friends spawned Maxwell the cat, pretty much. So I decided to keep him and put him up here because I thought it was kind of funny and kind of cute and something to look at. Now, it would be nice to go up there and pet it, but I didn't want to waste too much, building and all that stuff. Now, let's get off the road because we really should be crossing from here to here. That would be pretty bad if we were hit by a car. Now, this building, it may look like what you think it is, a huge church, because technically it is a church, but without the cross. But it's actually a talk show called Ghosty Live. And I'm really, really, close with her, and she and I kind of, sponsor each other's rooms. And I decided to sponsor her room by building her own building, a little bit of a ghost themed. And you can see up there is a little tiny ghost. And you can actually go inside the building. There's a little check entry thing right here where people can greet and just say hello. And if you go in here, look at this. There's floating candles, lots of ghosts, and a couple of cobwebs here and there because this place is a little spooky. And there's a little stage you can go onto right here and just pretend that you are giving a nice speech. Or if there was a microphone right here, which we won't put a microphone, you can, have a grand time just to kind of tell jokes or just make it like a pretend theme, like you're actually saying, the Lord and all. But no, this is just for decoration and just for fun's sakes. But however, as you can see, there's 3 ghosts right here with 3 different faces. If you haven't heard the Three Stooges, I was kind of referencing that a little bit, where you got like a scared ghost, a mad ghost, and a I'm happy and jolly ghost. Now there is one other thing. I said I wouldn't notice this, but that was only when it was in the Thorn Alley, if you guys remember. But look, there's Grimmy once again. And he's got a little thing to tell us. Why is there so much ghost in here? It's giving me a cold feeling that reminds me of someone I care about. Yeah, so he's a little scared of ghosts, pretty much, and he's not a big fan of spooky places. But you know what? It's okay, Grimmy. Just shine that flashlight and you'll be safe. And make sure you carry a cross once in a while. Now, you notice the front, the very front, there's actually a couple of gravestones. And one of them just says boo, and one of them actually says my name, pretty much, because why not? I'm an old fart once in a while. But also, there's a person named Donna. This is actually my grandmother's name. She recently passed away not too long ago, and it was really hard time, at least before this map was even made. This was during the tour 3 of that one map, where there was one point I had to go on a vacation with my best friend to Hawaii. So I told my members to create a theme while I was gone. And when I came back, I didn't even get a week's stay at home. And my mother called me and she told me that Grandma was in the hospital because she had a stroke and was found lying in the ground in the kitchen. It was really heartbreaking. I know this might be sensitive, but sometimes we gotta face the factors that sometimes things happen in life we don't have control. But however, I loved my grandmother. She was the best person, and I wish I visit her more often, but then again, I was at least able to go see her before she passed, and I'm grateful. And I wanted to make her name as a memory thing, so I put it right in front of Ghosty Live's church as a way of her, my kind of way of her final resting place. and I hope that she will be inspired to you guys too, that she was a great person. Trust me. Moving on, let's try not to get a little sad tone here. But here we go. Zypher Weapon Store on a comeback corner. This is the person that I had trouble pronouncing their name because you don't pronounce the V. But come on, it's a little hard to do. But however, he makes amazing weapons, pretty much. Amazing design weapons. So if you go inside, it may seem a lot of unfinished things like those pedestals or some photo posters that was supposed to be up. And of course, the wall might seem bare, but there's a very good reason it is, because some of the weapons he have spawned had a lot of shapes and it was causing a lot of lag before. But as you can see, if you look closely, look how well this knife is designed, a couple swords, even just some guns that he even made. And especially my favorite one so far is I guess the little this one right here, since this is related to Lord of the Rings, the Stinger. I love that sword pretty much. Now there's actually an upstairs, if we go up here, where it's a nice chilling area where you can just hang out and chill and just sit back and relax. And there was supposed to be more photos, but we never got the chance to do that because, Rec Room's shutting down and it's not much to do. He also have his own little private corner, which is cute. But he also noticed there's a little center here and there's a text. If you click this is a little question board pretty much. And there's actually a couple of questions you can, ask and go through. But as you can see, it's kind of broken. But we also do this. Do you like most in the circle room? If you don't feel comfortable with the question, feel free to skip. Because you don't know, some people might not like somebody and they don't want to, feel, on the spot and stuff. Now just realize if you feel comfortable. I think one of my members didn't spell comfortable right, but that's okay. I would probably spell that too if my dyslexia was really up there, but for now, it's all right. But yeah, as you can see, this is nearly not much done, but however, it's still pretty cool. Now, there's a couple funny things in front of this thing. For instance, we have a tiny, tiny car. Don't know why. I guess one of the members felt bored and decided to make a really tiny car and just leave it right there. Because why not? They just think it's funny. It's perfect for ants. Now, this is Zypher's truck, pretty much, because if you look in here, look! It's the black hole bits. It's the cereal again, pretty much. And you can still sit in the back of the truck, kind of funny. But if you notice, there is ingredients in the back right here. So the ingredients is black hole, chocolate, and piece of a chair from the stage. Yeah, no joke, pretty much. It's made with that, and that sounds delicious. Okay. Moving on. Once again, this store actually never got fully released because I didn't get the time to finish it because it was a lot to do with after building so much of this in time. But this is supposed to be a garden particular shop for my friend Grimmy because, at some point he was having very difficulty with his headset and also with his console of trying to play Rec Room because some reason it just wouldn't work. So I actually left it blank because I thought at some point once he gets things figured out, he can be able to design it himself. But we never got to do that, but also there won't be any point since Rec Room is shutting down. But however, we will always love our friendly cactus, no matter what. Anyways, moving on, we also have the Glitch Show. If you haven't already heard, that Glitch is technically having his show on, on the last final day before Rec Room even have its last final day on the 30th. So check him out. Trust me, it's going to be a blast. But however, he is going to also do some podcasts during his Discord server, so go listen in. But don't ask to join and request anything because it's kind of disturbing and makes people feel like they have to constantly remove the person if they already have people ready for that during that podcast to talk. So let's try to be a little bit more respectful, please. But however, this building you can't go into. It is also one of those buildings like Akari's, but it's just a nice design big building because, well, he's got a big stage and he's the man. He's the one band just talking up on stage most of the time. But he's he's still a great funny fella, trust me. He's pretty great. All right, moving on. As you notice, like on the other side we have something in this corner. We actually have something in this corner. And this is Joe Mama's little trash corner shop. It's just for kicks and giggles, and there's really not much dialogue right here, but let's get a little closer. Hey, and welcome to Joe's Junkie Emporium. As I got tons of whatever in here and that you might like, trash, junk, all the nonsense. I ain't either a copy, certain sort of salesman for a garage dumpster. Have fun looking around. And there's a few like Rec Room original stuff like the boxes, the bear, the ham, and as well as, a little version of herself and a couple of cups for no reason. Oh, of course, the code of conduct. And lots of trash and lots of trash bags and tires. And also a car that you can actually pick up. Oh my god, there we go. Back up on hold. And don't worry, it does have a little chip that puts it back, so. But for now, yeah, this is a little corner spot for Joe Mama. She was just feeling kind of bored during her building process and decided, hey, can I ask you a question, Rose? And I'm like, yeah. Can I have my own little corner? I'm just like, yeah, go ahead. Anyways, oh boy, this has been a huge, tour to give, but this is just for part 1 of the tour. I will just cut this video right here, and we'll see the next section of the tour, and yeah, hope to see you then.